Welcome to the Jam Happy Hour. I hope you're having a fantastic Friday. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to enjoy some music, some conversation, some lovely wine. And today we're going to be joined by Brother Swan coming in from the West Coast of California. Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
It's fantastic. Welcome into the Jam Happy Hour. For maybe someone who's just catching it for the first time, it's an hour of music conversation, preferably with one of your favorite butter wines, jam wines, enjoying it with us, and just basically get to know you a little bit better. Maybe your fans get to know us a little bit better. And it's just a great way to spend a Friday evening, afternoon, because you're West Coast.
Yeah, afternoon for us. Yep.
East Coast. I'm full into my happy hour over here. So thank you so much for being a part of it. How about we set the tone? How would you like to start us off with a song?
Yeah, we'd love that. Sure.
What would you like to play first?
We're going to play a newer song that hasn't been recorded yet called No Disguise.
I love new. Fantastic. Thank you for being a part of the Jam Happy Hour.
Thanks. What I say about you, these words are if there's something missing, it's all just in my mind. 'Cause it seems a million time, but for now some reason magnetized, no disguise, here tonight. Is it 'cause I'm listening? 3 words unsaid. Is it 'cause you're patient? There's nowhere in. 'Cause it seems I've been just fine, but for now some reason magnetized, no disguise, here tonight. Watching us around, sitting there in front of me, where you might be, saying it's alright, don't have to be anything, in time we'll see.
We're off and running here in the Jam Happy Hour with Brother Swan. Again, thank you so much for jumping in with us. I'm hearing some influences, and I don't know if that's just my ears, but I want to ask you guys, like musically, kind of growing up, who were you into and what could maybe be popping up in your music?
Ooh. I would say lately, I don't know, Weiss, what would you say lately has been kind of more top of mind for us?
I mean, well, to answer your question, a lot of kind of what I grew up listening to as a kid
Yeah,
was yeah, like a lot of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, and a lot of the Police, um, to
very
name a
cool.
couple, really at the forefront. But yeah, I think lately we're getting into some territories that are sort of um, tipping the hat off to a lot of these genres, um, like Americana rock and roll being one of them.
Okay.
A lot of you know dream pop elements, shoegaze here and there. Um, so yeah, I'd say just to name a few, uh, that's kind of
Yeah, we've been saying this song in particular, the one that we just played, is kind of
Yeah.
like there's a bit of snail mail in there. There's a little bit of a band called Always, which just put out they just put out a great record called Blue Rev, and yeah, some of the more some of the newer kind of indie darlings that have come out in the last, I don't know, 10 years or
That's
so.
interesting because you're
Yeah,
thinking like newer artists, and I'm thinking, I mean, maybe it's just a product of like the music that I grew up on, which because we
yeah,
all, hear things differently. I
yeah,
was like getting like a late 90s vibe, very almost like Dinosaur
definitely.
Jr., very
yes,
um very guitar driven, kind of that pop synth. And I noticed that unusually and again, Brother Swan joining us for the Jam Happy Hour, 3 guitarists. This is not your typical lineup. Like, how did you guys come together and decide that this was kind of the band that you were going to run with right now?
Well, so these two are like childhood best friends, the two Chris's, as we call them, the dynamic duo over here. The three of us are from South Florida, but I met Chris here in Los Angeles at a recording studio called King Size Sound Labs.
Mhm.
Um, so we came up kind of working in the studios together on different sessions together. And
Okay.
then as the pandemic hit, um, we actually had just a second to like, oh my God, like, instead of recording other folks' stuff, we now had this free time to make our own music again.
Sure.
And just in some of our downtime, every once in a while, Chris and I would show each other what we were working on. And um, we just had this lucky break where there was a pause, and we started off by unconventionally starting by making our first record, Loom, which, out everywhere. But we started as a recording project because there was no other way to make music really at the time.
Mhm.
And it just never stopped since then.
It's an
yeah.
interesting title with Loom. I mean, 2022, everything shut down, pandemic. People are slowly coming back out into the world. You guys decided to put an album out. Why call it Loom? Like, what was the reasoning behind that?
I mean, it was a pre-pandemic record. I mean, a lot of those songs were written before the pandemic hit, so there was
Mhm.
a weird synchronicity there where the timing of it was like on the tail end of writing those songs, this pandemic was starting to take shape, and I
Boy,
would
did
say
it.
yeah, a lot of the yeah, I mean, a lot of those songs are kind of like a lot of people write breakup records. This was like a pre-breakup record. I was in a
Ooh,
relationship, but I could kind of sense that there was this looming clock,
thing coming.
yeah, there's something was coming, but it felt broader than that too, because there are some like climate elements as well in there. There's some like climate anxiety, there's some relationship anxiety, there's
Mhm.
Just anxiety.
yeah,
Is
just
the word you're looking
Just
for.
like in
questionable
general. We can all relate to.
questioning relationships, friendships, romantic relationships, all, and that kind of is like the through line of a lot of the record, this kind of unease, so
Well, with like
But I think it was.
Loom, you think of putting something together, like, either,
Mhm.
sewing something or building something or creating something. So I find it interesting that you decided to title the project that, because it sounds like almost like something's unraveling.
Well, I think that's an incredibly insightful comment, Jana, because in a way, it does have this sort of pervasive anxiety to it, but also the record itself just thrives in these bittersweet moments. Like the next song we'll play is called "Good Luck, Baby," which, some definitely a little bit melancholy kind of lyrics, but also it's driving, and there is that dare to hope for something. And it
Gosh,
lives in this. It lives in that little in between space of like, what's going to happen? I hope for the best, but I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's a great setup. I can't even mess with that, so I think we're just gonna roll right into "Good Luck, Baby" with Brother Swan here in the Jam Happy Hour, because I think a lot of us live in that in between moment of you want to hope, but you also have anxiety. So I think we all relate. So musically, let's have it here in the Jam Happy Hour.
Cool, thanks. When you come calling my good luck, baby, I am no father, I am no good savior. When you come calling my good luck, baby, I am no preacher, I am no good savior. Save me from myself, 'cause it haunts me just to know I feel your inside coming around somehow. When I come calling my good luck, baby, don't even bother, I ain't gonna save you. When I come calling my good luck, baby, you're not my keeper, always on the run. Can you save me from myself? 'Cause it hurts me just to know I feel your inside coming around somehow. Can you save me from myself? 'Cause it haunts me just to know I feel your inside coming around somehow.
Definitely enjoying the vibe here in the Jam Happy Hour for your Friday afternoon or evening, no matter where you're coming in from. Thank you so much for being a part of an hour worth of music and hanging and getting to know each other a little bit better with Brother Swan. If you guys are enjoying the music, please follow and share and like. Playlisting, it's important, and a lot of people keep the eyes on the thing. So what is the best way to keep up to date with what you guys are doing musically, personally? Like, are you a band that likes to share a lot of things? Like, what is the vibe of Brother Swan?
I would say, yeah, we share.
We share.
We share.
We're getting better.
We're getting
sharing.
better. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a full-time job.
Work in progress.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
But there's also that sexy air of mystery, you know?
Is that what it is?
Is that what it is? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think it's been
mystery.
Yeah, just like trying to figure out like what makes sense to show to people. You know, is it just like photo shoots? Is it like what are the dimensions of what we're putting out there? You know, so
Content is so interesting. You know,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people love behind the scenes. I think a lot of people like, you know, the pretty, what's coming, the photo shoots, you know, what's the plan. They like to be in the know. But then
Yeah.
I think there's also something that's kind of lost in a lot of feeds, that is that authenticity of,
Yeah.
you know, you guys coming together just as friends and bandmates and creating music and, you know, putting a plan together and, you know, doing things like this, like for your fans, like organically. There's something to be said for that too. So yeah, it is a slippery slope. It is a full-time job for sure.
Yes. I agree with all of that.
Yeah.
I mean, thankfully, Brother Swan seems to be turning into a full-time job. It's
Yeah.
cool. It's fun.
Yeah, it's definitely taking a lot of the time, but yeah, we're fairly active social media wise. I think we want to just try and create some more intimacy and make it feel authentic, and so that's what
Right.
we've been trying to figure out. Yeah.
It's a slippery slope. You know, sometimes you don't know how much to give or how much to hold back because, like you said, mystery's sexy, and that's not wrong. But at the same time,
And
too,
anybody is not.
yeah, we're right. Yeah.
Right.
So
There's a difference between mystery and reclusive.
Yeah, I think some of us would love to just be reclusive, you
Right.
know, like
Me being one of them.
Yeah.
But
but
there's a balance, you know?
everything in balance, 100% for sure. At what point did you guys realize that this was going to be a thing and that you were going to full steam ahead? Because you said you've worked on other projects, you've been on other bands, you've done other things. Like when this solidified, like what were you guys thinking? Like, okay, we're going to take this to the next step. Are you ready to write it like all the way out?
I mean, for me personally, I think it was just as soon as we had finished LP1.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was this phase, I guess in the following months that came after that, where we wrote a batch of these new songs that we felt were a lot stronger in all these different kinds of ways, and it just felt, you know, between this like, you know, big debut album and with these new songs coming, we were just like, man, like let's like now we're itching to do the new stuff. So it was kind of this like this thing that, you know, sort of came over everybody, where it was just like, let's just like, yeah, like, and so that being said, you know, going into LP2, we're just even, I mean, like we're that much more excited. We're that much more, you know, filled with ideas and just really, really cannot wait to get that process started. And that's starting in less than 2 weeks. So we're
I love that you still think of it like in the sense of the project, LP1, LP2. I feel like the music industry has changed so much in the last few years. In the last 10 years, completely different, but especially, you know, during and post-pandemic, like the industry itself has moved away from projects as a whole. It's, you know, what sticks, what trends, what goes viral. It's single driven, but you still think in that mentality of full-on projects. You're talking to LP2, and obviously with, you know, Loom being the first one, the second one you're about to go into recording. Why do you think that you still see it in that sense? By the way, I like that you do. I think it's.
I think there's a lot of reasons. I mean, and again, we're nothing wrong with a good single, but it's almost like a mentality. I feel like for all of us, this next batch of songs, we the first one we played, No Disguise, being one of them. It's almost like it's a mentality shift. It's a different ethos for the sound. I mean, our first record, I mean, you hit it right on the head. It's very 90s inspired.
Cool.
I mean, again, a lot of bands that we were referencing, Slow Dive, who else? I mean,
Pavement, some of those like fundamental 90s bands, into the 2000s, early 2000s, like Broken Social Scene and like, that.
Yeah. But I mean, for this next record, we're looking and taking a lot of influence from Brit rock and like some of Oasis's kind of psychedelic stuff. And I'm a huge like Kieran Smith's fan, and a lot of these kind of jangly guitars and swimmy kind of textures. It's just a sonic quality for this next record that it's just something exciting to explore, and I feel like that is the natural way to do an album, is explore this new sound. If that helps.
I want to talk more about that. I really do want to talk a lot more about that and how you approach the new project. And obviously you hit trigger word Oasis. Like we're going to dive into all of that.
Everyone's excited for what's happening there.
A very good one. But I would love to jump in on our third song this evening here in the Jam Happy Hour. What would Brother Swan like to play for us next?
We're going to play a song from the first record called Spill.
Beautiful. You guys enjoy Spill here in the Jam Happy Hour.
I don't want to spill the wine. In a lifetime when we do, it feels insane. Yeah, I don't wanna fall in line. In a heartbeat when we do, it's my change. Shut up for now, in my place. Shut up for now, yes, it's insane. Moving backwards along, can't see what's going wrong. Oh, yeah, I don't want it work blind. In a lifetime when we do, yeah, who's to blame? I don't wanna fall in line. In a heartbeat when we leave the blackened stain. Shut up and on in a flame. Shut up and on, yes it says. Moving backwards along, can't see what's going wrong.
Spill out of Brother Swan here in the Jam Happy Hour. Thank you guys so much for performing that one. Before that, we were kind of talking about influences and new things and switching over. And somebody said Oasis, and I went blank in my brain. But it also makes me think about Brothers and the interesting dichotomy that is Brothers. Obviously, Oasis famously interesting brother set there. Where did the name Brother Swan come from?
So Brother Swan is a weird reference to a movie that came out a couple years back. It's like kind of an art horror film called Mandy. And it's this like highly stylized revenge film with Nick Cage. And there's, yeah, I mean, it's like, it's got everything. It's got the gore. It's got the beautiful visuals. You see, yeah, classic Nick Cage freakouts. Like it's top tier. And I'm so happy that that director chose him because yeah, he just brought that intensity. And there's a cult, you know, no spoilers, but there's a cult. And one of the higher ups in the cult is Brother Swan. And I heard it because there's this kind of like pivotal, not a pivotal moment, but there's like a moment that is memorable, and Brother Swan is repeated several times. And as I was watching it, I was like, this is interesting because we went to Catholic school, all boys Catholic school. So it would be like Brother Kevin or Brother Pat. So it seemed like this weird perverse version of like what we kind of grew up with.
Yeah, some of our viewers are having like Catholic school flashbacks.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're in a safe space, everybody. You are loved.
Yes, exactly. I know. All that Catholic guilt to just wash it away.
It's fine.
You know, it was run.
Or use it to make a band name.
Yeah. I mean, it was run by monks essentially. So I think that's where there was like a connection there in some weird way.
So it's very cool. Jumping into the next album, you're about to start recording here in a couple of weeks. Are you excited? Are you writing everything down that's flying through your brain? Is it already planned out? Like, where are we at mentally as far as it's time to jump in and record this next baby of yours?
Oh, the excitement is definitely palpable. So I'm starting a recording studio out in Joshua Tree, and this will be
record somewhere.
Exactly. I mean, you two named a record after it, so it's got to be a good idea, right?
Doesn't suck.
It's a classic. But yeah, this will be the second album ever recorded out there.
Very cool.
And yeah, again, it's just all about that kind of new album mentality of like shifting somewhere outside of the hustle and bustle of Los Angeles and just immersing ourselves in this project and getting away from some of the distractions that are many in Los Angeles.
Yeah, 1000%. You know, but for some people, their distraction is your music. And how does that feel? Knowing that, you know, you're helping somebody get through their bad day or their great day, or, you know, once you put music out, it's no longer yours anymore. You know, it becomes, you know, however I'm going to interpret it, however anybody's going to interpret it. So that's a big responsibility. Do you ever stop down and think about like, I'm just going to do my art, or are you thinking about like how it's going to make people feel down the line?
I'd love to be someone's source of catharsis for sure. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I think it happens in equal measure. I think it starts with, I was watching the Bee Gees documentary and they were talking about so good.
Just watched it.
I forget which brother it was, but he was like, yeah, we would write songs for each other. And that was the bar. And I think that's 100% true with this band. It's like, oh, I just want to make a song that these guys feel. And then hopefully there's this greater, you know, there's this like greater thing that happens where people can relate to it. Everything else is just a bonus. But if I know they're enjoying the music and I am, then that I think lends itself to, I don't know, just a more fulfilling thing.
100%. And then you think about, you know, not only are you fulfilling, you know, each other, but then also the fans of your music also get to enjoy it along with you.
Yeah.
It's a pretty multi-tier happy place, honestly. And that's what I think music is. And there's like this great scientific study that even listening to sad songs, not that you make, you know, these sad songs. Maybe you
Yeah.
will. But it's like even
Yeah.
listening to the saddest of songs can make you feel better. It's a sense of
Sure.
community. And
Sure.
I think no song, no band exists in a vacuum. I mean, we all. I love the fact that we're a part of a musical community, and ever since emerging from COVID, it just feels like this little thing that we're doing, and being a part of all these other bands and all these other fans. The desire for real connection is so much higher than maybe has ever been before, when you just took it for granted, like, oh yeah, we'll just like go out for Friday night. Like, we've all lived through the fact that you couldn't do that for like a year and a half, 2 years here in LA. So
I know we're gonna have to explain this to people one day, and they're gonna be like, "What?" You're like, "No, you couldn't go out," and it's gonna be bonkers because everybody and their brother's out performing. They're on tour.
Yeah.
It's gangbusters right now. When it comes to performing live, which are you more excited about? The performing live with new music, or just being out and performing live? You don't care.
Equally terrifying experiences.
I love it.
I think, yeah, a lot of it has been experiments, because, you know, we wrote the record, we released the record, and then we started performing. So it was like, we're not road testing anything because we've already written it and it's going on record. Whereas now it's like we're writing things, performing things, and seeing what the response is. And that's been super interesting, you know? So playing new stuff live. I mean, we use this term creatively pregnant a lot. We were super creatively pregnant with the last record, you know, where it's like it was baking in the oven for a long time. And so, you know, going back to that question about thinking about records, and you think about things in projects, like we kind of use records to sort of move through life, if that, you know, sounds a little pretentious, you know? So,
somebody else had used the word cathartic. I mean, it's got to be highly cathartic, you know, to be able to put those thoughts down, on paper, then into music, then to create songs, and then to put them out there. That has to be very freeing.
That is very freeing. But like playing the new stuff, there's a certain power that they have over us now, because we're just, I don't know,
It's new.
Yeah, it's the new stuff, and it has it just has a certain feeling about it.
I feel like you always want your next record to be your best record, right? And it's the thing you're really excited about. I mean, I love the tracks off of Loom and our first album, but this next batch is awesome, you know, or whatever. Like,
so we're like 2 weeks out from recording, which is pretty exciting. Is this a good time to roll into perhaps another new song?
Yeah. This is one that hasn't been recorded yet. It's called Megalith.
A Jam
Megalith
exclusive.
Yeah.
I love that, the Jam Happy Hour exclusive. Thank you guys. It's Brother Swan. You guys enjoy.
Here comes the sun. I swear I cannot follow. We're here now. I feel how the rest is true, so hollow. Here comes the sun now. I swear I cannot swallow. We're here now. I feel how the city's only shadow. Hanging on to where I belong when I'm gone in the fleeting weather. The stars now, I feel the rest is true so hollow. Here comes the sun now. I swear I cannot swallow. We're here now. I feel the ceiling's only shallow. Hanging on to where I belong when I'm gone in the fleeting weather. My stars still won't fall and never gave it all, 'cause I'm here forever. Feeling away, feeling away.
Brother Swan here in the Jam Happy Hour. Thank you guys so much for joining us this afternoon or evening, no matter where you are, to sit back, relax, enjoy some music, and get to know the band a little bit better. Megalith, not only a very heavy word, you say it's from the new album, the next project. You guys are going to be recording it here in the next couple of weeks. Is there a heavy sense to the entire album? Because that is a big word.
It's a $10 word.
It's a $10 word.
It's a good question because you're interviewing us in a time where we're in between records, where it seems like
it's about to happen.
Yeah, the record is as far as tonally what it's going to sound like, thematically what it's going to be like. All that is starting to form in front of us, like kind of
change.
Yeah, like I would say within the last couple of weeks, it's starting to become more definitive.
How is that? I mean, I am a creature of habit, of a plan. I can adjust on the fly, but I kind of like to know what's going on. So I obviously am not a musician. As a band heading into recording, do you have a plan? Is it laid out? Do you have a feeling how it's going to go? Or are you open to, hey, if this happens, midstream, shift and move on? Like, how is that mentally?
I think it always ends up being a mix of both. I am of the mind where, the recording process is a very delicate process and time is of the essence. So I've always thought that, the bands that are able to be the most efficient are the ones that are really good at the performance side of things and actually, getting the stuff down. So I try to prepare as much as possible, but I mean, at the same time, going into recording is always like all these unexpected things just happen all the time. Everything from a technical issue to a creatively genius moment because someone's just, adjusting a pedal or something. So I think the uncertainty of kind of what could happen and work out, for everybody's benefit, I think is just always a really cool thing. But hey, there's only so much you can do, but things happen, good and bad. But at the end of the day, it's all part of the thing. And what comes out on the other side is something that everyone's really happy with. So
Living, breathing, as it happens, kind of a musical adventure, as you would say.
pretty much, yep.
In
Yeah.
a way, it's like planned flexibility. I mean, our manager Jason. No, I know that sounds silly, but like our manager Jason is like, you rehearse in the rehearsal studio in the rehearsal spot, and you record in the recording studio, which is some of the best advice I've ever gotten, and I think we've ever gotten as a band.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, that also opens up time, underneath the microphones to try stuff. When you know and you walk in and you're prepared, that also gives you that extra flexibility. Like, oh wow, we've like nailed that in 3 takes. Like, let's just see what happens if we play it this way. Or,
What could possibly go wrong, or what could possibly go right?
Exactly. Well, it's and that's the luxury of recording as well, is no one's watching.
I love that. What could possibly go right? We should say that
Yeah,
before every show.
That's beautiful.
What could possibly go right?
That is a Jana-ism that we would love to
Yeah, thanks for that.
rent
Jana.
from you.
It's yours 100%. Walking into recording, walking into the new project, how do you hype yourself up for that? Do you have hype songs? Do you have a routine? Do you how do you mentally put yourself into that place to just be open to whatever happens?
I think going into the studio is like kind of consciously creating some parameters, to then just be free, and I think as far as hyping ourselves up, I mean, it's not conscious.
If I'm having a crummy day, I have a list of songs I can go to.
Right. Yeah.
We're going to pick ourselves up here. So if you're not feeling it, but this is our time and this is our day and this has got to happen, and you know what you want to create, like, how do you put yourself into that mindset? Maybe is a better way to ask it.
It's a great question, because I think first and foremost, at least for me personally, this feels like a studio band first. It was born in the studio. Right. It was born with a kind of like, I always reference James Murphy as far as like, he wanted to create an LCD sound system. He wanted to create that first record, and then in his words, wanted to be the best LCD sound system cover band in the world, and that's kind of how I envisioned this project. So I think speaking for all of us, going into the studio, that is us in our element more so than any other space, I think, creatively. So the hype is just like, I think it's just baked into the experience, regardless of how we're feeling or whatever.
I mean, I think there's also, there's an incredible choreographer, dancer, artist named Twyla Tharp, who has a book called The Creative Habit. And I resonate a lot with that book, because it's not just like, all of a sudden we're going to record. Like, we have made it a habit really to, be creative. I mean, the stuff that people don't see is we've been working on the demos for the record since the top of the year, without exaggeration. And we're just now finally going. Yeah. I mean, in a way, we've been working on this record since the end of the first record. So it's just it's a habit at this point. And it doesn't feel all that scary or anything. It just feels good to finally be like, we're going to commit to this.
Yeah. It never feels like we have to hype ourselves up, right? To go into the studio. It's just like,
we're already hyped up to go into the studio.
We're always,
What we're hearing, it sounds pretty fantastic. And the little nuggets that you've given us along the way, between No Skies and Megalith and stuff, like, it sounds like the project itself is clearly, as you say it now, you've been working on it for 6 months. Of course, it's coming together beautifully. What is the time frame? When do you think it's going to kind of be out and about for the world?
Well, we're going to go record some singles, some of which may end up on the record. We're going to be doing that within the next couple of weeks, and then, go from there. Hopefully later on in the year, if not early next year, we'll have that record out into the world. Yeah.
How hard is that to sit on, though? Like you said, you've been working with these songs for half a year at its earliest, even longer, with the ideas and like, now it's coming together. Now it's going to be recorded. Then you're going to have it. How hard is it not to be like, in this crazy social media fed industry that we're in now, to just go send?
Man.
Right? You know what? It's like, it's right there. It's done. You're like,
yeah.
Gotta wait.
it's tough. Yeah, it's always a strange thing. I mean,
Who's
putting
in
it on.
charge of it? Who has the trigger in the band?
It's a super democratically run band. Yeah, I mean, it's
Okay.
all, whether you're a hired gun or you're part of the core,
So
Brother
Ian
Swan,
can't go
whatever.
crazy one day and be like,
Hit the red button. No.
right, yeah.
Well, these
Well.
these guys are definitely they rein me in. I definitely am the
Yeah, you want to.
fiery.
Yeah, he's like aiming
There
for the
it
red
is.
button, but
There
we're
it
holding
is.
him back. That kind of.
Yeah,
If you can visualize that.
Never give
It
me
is a very
Yeah.
interesting time that we live
Yeah.
in, for sure.
But then like
when it's
Rob
right
is like
there.
egging him on.
Yeah. We're the fire to the water.
Yeah.
And together we can steam dumplings.
Yeah.
Okay.
A hidden talent. Now I'm hungry. Thanks. Let's jump
Happy
in.
hour, so
It's
Yeah.
happy hour. We should have some steamed dumplings and some appetizers and whatnot.
Actually,
But
That's
if
amazing.
you're just enjoying the music with us, it's perfectly fine too. It feels like a great time to jump into our fifth song this afternoon/evening here in the Jam Happy Hour. What can we expect next from Brother Swan?
It's called "In the Morning" and
song for us.
and it's off.
So this
of,
is from the first one.
One more old one, and then the one more new one.
So what's the story? But I love the story behind the song, and I know everybody has their own interpretation. But "In the Morning," what does that got? What does the story of that song mean to you?
I think it's one of those songs that is talking about or trying to reckon with the possible dissolution of a relationship, of a romantic relationship. So yeah, will we be here in the morning? Not sure, yeah.
But it's still a song for us, so it's like
Yeah, and at the same time, it's like regardless of what happens with the relationship, I still just want to pay tribute, So
I do. I think a lot of us do. So you guys enjoy "In the Morning." This is Brother Swan and the Jam Happy Hour.
You sleep before you leaving. Take a look in hard water. Have you found a lover sleeping like a ghost in backyards? Forgive me, I'm dreaming. Forgive me, I'm thinking of a place. Comatose with the lights on. Have you found a new heart? Here's a song for all my scheming. Here's a song for us. Forgive me, I'm dreaming. Forgive me, I'm thinking of a flame. see you when the light comes in, waiting for me. To the next one now. On to the next one now. To the next one now. To the next one now. Oh, to the next one now. To the next one now. Oh.
Brother Swan here in the Jam Happy Hour with us. Thank you guys so much for spending your afternoon here playing music, getting to know you a little bit better, getting to know the songs a little bit better, getting excited for the new project coming up. It's such a quick hour, honestly. It flies by so quickly. So thank you so much just for like being open and honest and like sharing what's coming. And I think we have time for one more song. And you promised a little something new.
Yes, we have one more called Swimmer, yet to be recorded. So
I love all the yet to be recorded because I know it's like happening and it's super exciting and it's just like it's almost here. So take it away here in the Jam Happy Hour.
okay, thanks.
Nights around I can't reply. What swirls around us? Was there more you tried to hide? Oh, I want to forget. Oh, blood rushes to my head. Just swim the line. Is not your key, what place for you? It's all I ever wanted to do. Who knew can't say I do. Well, I guess I'll follow once you found a way on through. Oh, into the way you lie. Oh, the morning photograph. Just swim your eye. It's not, I'll keep a place for you. It's all I ever wanted to do.
Thank you again to Brother Swan for being a part of the Jam Happy Hour this afternoon / evening, wherever it is where you may be tuning in and listening to. If you've enjoyed the music and getting to know the guys a little bit better, definitely support their original project, LP1, LP2 on the way. You can follow along on all of their socials and obviously add them to your playlists as well. It all matters. And if you're liking your jam wine and enjoying your butter bubbles or your butter Chardonnay, whatever you're enjoying this evening, tell your friends about that as well. Thank you guys so much for coming in and joining us for the hour. It's so fast. It goes by
So
super
fast.
quickly. I'm very excited for LP2, as it has been called numerous times. Rob, Ian, Chris, and Chris. With the Brother Swan, we'll be watching and waiting, looking forward to the new project soon. So I say cheers to you. Cheers to the music.
Cheers.
Thank you for sharing your talent with us today. Very much
Thank
so.
you, Jana.
Thanks for
Thank you,
having
Jam
us.
Seller.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Have a great night.